So because of Corona, we actually have to mask, do social distancing and sanitize. Oh wait, I'm going to make a tutorial, so I actually don't need this mask now. So welcome back my amazing people, Hamza here, and today we are going to have some fun with the Elementor mask feature that actually just came out recently. I actually didn't talk about it because by the time it came out I was a little bit ill and I had COVID, which is actually one of the reasons I have to mention that you guys have to sanitize, you have to keep social distancing and also putting on masks. Now let's head straight into Elementor and we see how the Elementor mask feature actually works. It actually has nothing to do with this mask here. Now this is actually going to be an interesting video because Elementor brought an interesting feature in one of the previous updates that they made, and this is the mask option. And previously we've actually been creating masks in our websites, but it has been a tedious process. First you would have actually to use a third-party software like Photoshop to actually create your image mask. But now that is history. We can actually add masks onto widgets in our website and we can customize them, including uploading custom shapes. And just like you see over here, something I've just come up with, like, adding mask on text and adding a mask on a widget or a testimonial widget, and this is actually a slider. See how this looks like, and something like this. Adding a mask for your other images. This one is actually a custom mask that I uploaded, including this, and this one over here, it's one of the pre-made mask options that are provided in Elementor, and I'm going to show you how to actually come up with something like this. And lastly, having a mask on something like this. This is actually a phone mockup. When I cross over here to my media library, you'll see that actually I added some of the custom shapes that I'm using on my widgets as masks. So this is actually my mask, and what I simply have to do is to enable the option, and then I have something like this. You can further customize this even on the mobile version. Now let's jump straight to the video and have some fun. Yeah, because we're actually talking about masking, that's why you actually see a preview of me masking, but that's another story. There's a video I made about me having Corona, but now I'm getting better, that's why you see this video. Okay, now back onto why we are here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to add a new heading widget just over here, and I'll add learn with video. I'm going to copy the styling for this option. Let me just copy the styling for that widget, and I'll paste the styling for it over down here. So now we literally have the same widgets all over. And why you actually see that it still has the mask is because the mask option is enabled. So when I click over here, I come to advanced, I come down here to mask, boom, I'm in here. So the mask option is actually enabled, but if it is disabled, that's how our text will look like initially, the normal styling and then the color. So when you enable the mask, you have the mask on, and you can choose between different masks. You can choose between having a circle, a flower, or whatever. But let me just reset this to the default. So by enabling a mask over here, boom, we have a mask, and it's a circle or mask. Over right here, we can, make changes to the different shapes. We can say we want a flower, but here it doesn't really come out well simply because it is text. Earlier, I wanted text that has some kind of texture in it. So what I had to do was simply come over here, choose my hexagon as the shape, and I came down below here and then I said repeat. I came back here on the size and I chose a custom size. So you see now I have the option to actually increase or decrease the size of our hexagon. So you see the more I increase, that's how it will look like. If I use the knob to scroll, you see that we have our hexagon over there. But since we have repeat turned on, the lesser the size of the hexagon, the more hexagons that are going to appear in our text. To have my widget having text in there, I simply made the hexagons to be just 1%, and they kept repeating themselves in this text. That's how we managed to achieve this feature. For me, it looks impressive. Actually, if I would find this text on our website, I would question Okay, how did they do it? Did they have to upload this text as an image? And if I would find out that it's actually text on the website itself, I would question further how it was done. Or it is maybe a font, which actually isn't the case. Okay, now moving down onto our next section, realize that we have this kind of testimonial slider over here, and it has a mask. What did I do? Simply coming over here, we have our testimonial carousel with all the testimonials, and simply coming over here to advanced and then turning on our mask option. We simply just added a blob as our mask and we made it to fill. If I disable this, this is how our testimonial widget would look like. And maybe you want to add some magic on it so people will question how this is actually done, can fit it. That's how it will actually look like. And that means actually your text will be hidden. So what I did was simply to say fill, and then I just played around with the positioning of the blob itself, so everything is kind of visible in that. That's it for the testimonial slider, or how you can actually add this mask onto your testimonial slider. Now on the next section, there are 3 columns, and all these columns are having the same widget, which is actually an image carousel, and we're having images, or the same kind of images flowing through the same widgets. Now what I had to do was very simple, is simply to add masks on all of the image carousels. Like for example over here, simply come over here to advanced and then come to our mask feature, and then I simply added a custom image mask. Okay, I'll call it image mask, but at the same time you can also add SVGs. And to add an SVG, just like over here in my media library, you realize that I have an SVG. You see, this is an SVG over here. So to upload an SVG, make sure that you actually enable SVG uploads for your Elementor website. Come here to Elementor, come to settings, and then come down here to advanced, and make sure that you enable unfiltered file uploads. That will enable you to upload SVG and JSON files. And that is not enough. You also have to add the SVG support plugin to your WordPress website. Otherwise, WordPress will not allow you to actually upload those SVGs to your WordPress website. The one we were doing before was to allow Elementor to accept us to use our SVGs in the Elementor page builder, but now we have to allow actually use of SVGs on our WordPress website, simply because they actually pose a security threat for your WordPress website. And that's why we are now going to add this plugin that will enable us to be uploading our SVGs on our website. So now let me just go straight here to the plugins option. We'll see in the installed plugins, because I already have it installed. It's called SVG support. So make sure that you activate it. And then you have all these options, restrict to administrators to actually be able to upload SVGs. And that's all for now. Simply save changes and you are good to go to start using SVGs on your WordPress website. Now back onto our Elementor website. So let me change this mask to our SVG that we actually use. So let me come back over here to media library and come to our SVG that we uploaded, and then we use it as our image mask. You can as well make changes to it. You can say maybe it should repeat, and you decrease the size of the shape or increase or whatever you want. Anyway, I will not enable repeating. I'll just leave it to actually fit, and there I am. So to the middle image carousel, which is this, when I come to advanced and check over on our mask area, I added the sunbed as our image mask. It is an SVG, but as well you can use PNGs. So don't be like, oh, the guy is only using SVGs. No, you can as well use PNGs for your custom image mask. So I have over here the SVG which we used. I made it to fit, and it's centered, center, and nothing else. So the other thing that maybe you're questioning is, how do I have this over here? This is a Lottie animation that I simply placed on top of this other section. How did I do it? I simply just came over here, looked up for a Lottie widget, which is by Elementor, dragged it over here, and then I simply added the Lottie URL, which I get over here on Lottie files, just over here, searching for a circle Lottie. And over here, my Lottie animation shows up. So I simply just grabbed the link, added that link over right here. Then I came over here to the advanced option and made sure that I give it a Z index so that I can position it on top of the image carousel. and on top of this circle over here. So it looks a little bit, interesting to watch. And the last one that I actually found interesting is that you can even add these masks onto video widgets. This is a video widget that I added over here to this section. And when I come here to the mask option, and before I actually go into the masking option, under style for the video widget, I change the aspect ratio of my video from the normal 116:9, which is supposed to look like this, to what I wanted, which is 9:16, to be a portrait kind of video. Then I came down here to the advanced option, or then come to the advanced option, then masks. Then you can add or upload your mask image of your choice. So over right here in the media library, what I had to do was simply upload my image, and it's actually a PNG. Then after that, simply just insert your media, and then you can go on to the custom changes or the custom options that you want. Obviously for me, I wanted it to be custom, and I wanted it to repeat so that it appears like the video maybe is scrolling up a little bit. I simply just had to change the size of my mask. In my case, I simply wanted to leave it at around 55, the percentage. Then you can as well position it on top left, left or bottom, or whatever you want. Okay, I come back over here. I want it to be in center. Now let's go and look into the responsive options. So when I click over here on the mobile version, you realize that we actually have our video widget giving us the mask mobile responsive features. And this is what actually made for me this option more sweet, because look at this. When I click on the video widget and under the mask option, you see we have the size. We can make changes only mobile devices, and also for the scale option. So for the size, if you say for example feet for only mobile, and for the scale, if mobile version, you can as well change it to fit your mobile preference. But if you want it to repeat, you can say repeat or only repeat on the y-axis. So I want it actually to repeat on the y, which is the y-axis. So I only enable that, and then I have this over right here, something like this. Now if we go to the tablet option, it actually brings us only the mobile responsive options for the tablet, which is actually sweet. Now if I change the size from feet to fill, I will not repeat for the tablet. I'll just change this to the percentage, and I make it 50%. How does that look? It looks much better. So someone will have a better view of this image on the tablet device. In a nutshell, that's how I actually managed to add this mask option without actually having to go bury yourself into third-party softwares and create them, then import them into Elementor, and yet you can't even make further custom changes when you are in the Elementor editor. So thank you so much for watching this video, which was fun for me to make, and to find out that we now have the mask feature inbuilt in Elementor, and it's saving us like 50 to 70% of the time of actually creating a mask in our website. I hope you find it fun trying out this feature in Elementor, or even actually using it in some of your web projects. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, because that actually does help me out. Have a good time, and goodbye.